Welcome back. So, the War Within is bringing a big change to how currency achievements and rep works in WoW. There's a pretty decent chance that you'll actually auto-complete loads of achievements the second you log in on Prepatch, so that'll be pretty neat. And with what you'll learn today, you'll get even more, and you'll be able to spend from now until Prepatch actually getting ready. So, let's roll. Okay, so the War Within is making many currencies account-wide, and rather than these going into some sort of like shared cross-account number, instead Blizzard have got a new currency transfer UI. So here it is over in the alpha. You can see that clicking on an eligible currency brings up the transfer panel. There you can basically select how much you want to send and to which character. But not everything is eligible for this, right? So progression and power relevant stuff, the likes of say flight stones and crests, those can't be transferred, but cosmetic only things, well, those can be transferred for free, which is pretty nice. And some things that used to be used for power, say Soul Ash, those will still have their minor fee. Basically, right now, it's on the UI rather than being on a bunch of NPCs scattered around the world, lost without the aid of today's sponsor. Squarespace, you know that they are the online site builder with killer templates, tools, and features to help you get your web presence started right. All you need to do is go to squarespace.com/Bellular Gaming or just click the link down below to start your free trial. And then code Bellular Gaming gets you 10% off your first purchase of a site or domain. Now, I've talked about Blueprint, and there's also Fluid Engine. Those allow you to make a completely killer site. Today, though, I'm going to teach you about some of the things they do to support business, where they just handle all your needs, right? So that means physical goods, digital goods, as well as services. They will help you manage invoices and that sort of thing. In fact, one of the recent features they shipped in April was an update to their invoices. It's fantastic. So not only do your customers get a great site experience, they also get things like flexible payment options with credit cards, PayPal, Apple Pay, and in eligible countries, some buy now, pay later methods like Afterpay or ClearPay. And then they help you to optimize and run your own business. They have fantastic analytics to give you all your top traffic sources, to understand where your audience is coming from, to track your sales data, and to basically learn where to focus your efforts. And it really is wild how many things they support, like reservations, takeout food, delivery food, bio sites for your socials, and a whole load more to suit your needs. So at squarespace.com/Bellular Gaming, where you can click the link down below, you'll be able to start a free trial, and after you've enjoyed putting that together, you can get 10% off your first purchase of a site or domain with code Bellular Gaming. Let's talk about why you should care and how this could be useful. Did you play other characters in past expansions? Have you got scattered resources around your account just sitting in the currency tab of dead toons? Well, if you do, then this is really great. As an example, right, Matt on our team, he has long wanted the Priestess's War Saber. It's a really cool mount. It costs a load of 7th Legion service medals. It's a total slow pain in the ass to get, and he does not have anywhere near enough on any one of his characters. But he did play loads of characters back in the day, and now the Blizzard have added service medals to the transfer system, he, with 0 extra farming, will be able to buy the Moonsaber the day Prepatch comes out. So basically, this lets you funnel resources to one character and then buy fairly pricey things, which is nice. This makes some older currencies far easier to farm as well. If you've got things that are weekly or maybe daily gated, well, you could be earning that currency on a bunch of characters back to back, and then you can just transfer them all to one, saving you, like, not a lot of in-game time, but in terms of the actual calendar, making it so you can access those rewards way quicker because you can just play more. Another nice change then is how warbands are handling transmog, which does make this all a lot nicer. You can learn anything on any character, so as an example, you wouldn't need to transfer resources to a plate character in order to learn a plate transmog, and male for a male transmog and so on. You can just unlock all of that on one character. Like, truly a massive time saver. Here's the big one. This means that you will not need to have a character of every armor type at maximum renown for each covenant in order to get every single armor set. And that's because Anima, Grateful Offerings, and Renown are all going to be account-wide. Phew. That's just one example, so let's go through a few handy ways with some old currencies that this could be a bit of fun for you. I'll start with some less useful ones first. So, do you remember curious coins? I mean, probably not, but these came from the Broken Isles content, things like Paragon caches, Emissary caches, and dungeon bosses. They were weird, they were pretty rare, they would only drop one at a time, and the rewards honestly are kind of pants. But the way that this worked means that if you played Legion, you probably have a small pile of these on multiple different characters. So if you gather them all up, there are some rewards you could get, like this Destiny reference that now does basically no damage, but of course the big ticket item is the Arcadian War Turtle costing 150. Getting that in any other way would absolutely blow, so I'm pretty glad. I'm so sorry to do this to you, but cataloged research. Yep, slurp up your opiates because I'm about to say the trigger word, Korthia. So yes, cataloged research can be transferred from character to character, and it's a currency you can earn by doing anything in Korthia pretty much, right? Like the dailies, the weekly quests, doing world quests, killing rares, looting treasures, all that stuff. Now, most of the rewards, thankfully, are pointless Shadowlands things, but there are some fairly nice cosmetics you may want. There's a cloak, a soaring razorwing mount, and also a few armor pieces that match Sanctum Heroic. It's not the biggest thing ever, and thankfully, the other currencies I'll be talking about today are actually more interesting. Seafarers doubloons, these are fun. They came from Island Expeditions in BFA, something that you probably did on a load of characters, meaning chances are you'll be in for an absolute shopping spree. So right now the islands themselves are scaled to level 60, and that means you can farm them on Mythic super easily, and Blizzard also recently changed these to be solo queue. Now these get you a lot of things. I mean seriously, just a bunch of mounts, pets, toys, cosmetics, and also salvage boxes. And when you count them up, right? 11 mounts, 42 pets, 28 transmog sets, mostly unused recolors of old raid sets, and 86 weapons. That's what you get across the vendor and mostly the boxes. Now you get 10 doubloons per expedition bag, and sometimes expeditions will drop a few of them, but there is no big weekly source to exploit. It's just handy that you can gather these up across all of your characters. Next, one I've mentioned before, it's Reservoir Anima and Grateful Offerings. I'm not busting to head back to Shadowlands personally, but these changes do make some of those admittedly very nice cosmetics far easier to pick up. Now, Shadowlands raids will have legacy loot enabled in the War Within, and of course, account-wide anima and offerings. That's absolutely massive. Across all armor types and covenants, there is an absolute just shitload of cosmetics. They all, of course, cost anima and offerings, and that is where today's change is basically terrific. As well as, of course, the renown eventually being account-wide. There are, of course, loads of daily and weekly locked anima and offering sources that you can blast out here in your army of alts, but I think the main thing is just the changes to transmog acquisition rules and how those specifically interface with the rewards of Shadowlands. So a massive boon. And with that, a final small currency before we get to the exciting ones, Trial of Style tokens. They are transferable, which isn't super exploitable, but hey, it's pretty good for gathering up these resources across a whole bunch of different characters on your account. And on the bright side, Blizzard have actually added way more rewards to the Trial of Style recently. Of course, it's the Trial of Style, so it's active less than a handful of times a year, which is odd. But okay, let's move to the fun things. 7th Legion and honor-bound surface medals. These massively benefit from these changes. It's insane. So these are rewarded from the Warfront weekly quests, the Warfront Zone daily quests, the Faction Assaults feature added in patch 8.1, and the 7th Legion / honor-bound emissary quests from BFA. You get 30 per Warfront, that's 15 from the standard and heroic quests, 1 per Warfront world quest, of which there are 6, and 5 per Faction Assault, with another 5 for completing that emissary quest. And as you can see, that's a whole bunch of stuff that it spawns, and then you do it, and you've just got to wait. Of course, unless you have vaults, and that's why today's feature is amazing. So, as an example, Faction Assaults last for 7 hours, and the next assault will spawn about 12 hours after the end of the previous assault, and those will always spawn on the hour or half hour. So, with each one of them being worth about 10 medals in total, what you could do is wait for those and then just farm up a ton of service medals by just knocking them out on your alts. Then say the emissary quests. If you notice the emissary quests are up, then hop onto your alt army, do all of the emissary quests and just funnel all of that stuff to the character that you want to buy the cool things with. These were absurdly slow to earn back in the day, so being able to earn them in parallel across loads of characters just makes this so much nicer, especially if you want the cool rewards. I mean, the Alliance exclusive Priestess's Moonsaber is gorgeous, but it costs 750, as does the Horde equivalent, with both factions also getting the Sandy Nightsaber and a Crowlusk mount. Getting all of those would usually take weeks and weeks and weeks. That's just no longer the case. There are some other things like these simple cloaks and also the Draft of the 10 Lands, which really is a historical quirk. Basically, it's a level 10 through 50, 10% XP potion, and at least if my memory's right, it is World of Warcraft's only remaining XP potion of its kind. So yeah, I mean, gone are the mad days of the plus 300% Elixir of Ancient Knowledge. Let me know if you remember that one. Okay. The next cool thing, Champion Seals. If you came into your own during Wrath as I did, this will be peak nostalgia, so here's the deal. These are used for 26 mounts, 11 pets, 11 toys, 17 weapon appearances, 16 armor ones, as well as heirlooms and heirloom upgrade items. And for 50 seals, you can purchase the Argent Crusader's Tabard, which is pretty neat because it can teleport you to the Argent Tournament grounds, I think every 30 minutes. Now, you can earn 17 seals per character per day by doing the daily quests and then the Heroic Trial of the Champion dungeon. Now, a few of those mounts cost 150, so if you funnel the seals to one character, you won't be saving yourself hours of gameplay, but you will be saving yourself days and weeks on the calendar if you just rather knock this out quick. Next, we've got something current, Timeless Coins. So these come mostly from grinding mobs in the Timeless Isle. Hello again, Gulp Frogs. Now, there's a mount and a few appearances that you can purchase with these, and that mount, which is a gorgeous one, it's the Heavenly Golden Cloud Serpent, it costs 100,000 coins, so being able to gather up all of your leftover coins and your old mob characters onto one character may actually mean you can just buy this in day one. Another thing, by the way, it would be cool if Dark Moon prize tickets and time walking badges were added to this system, especially time walking badges. Come on, so many of us have done so much time walking and so many alts, but the actual time walking like mount rewards, those cost thousands and thousands and thousands of the time walking badges. Then I know a lot of people want the time limited holiday currencies to be added. I mean, I can see Blizzard not wanting people to turbo grind holiday events in parallel, but I mean, loads of people already do that, and hey, I can't say it wouldn't be handy. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the future then, given this is a video caused by War Within changes. You may have noticed that I did not mention Dragonflight's Paracausal Flakes and Mysterious Fragments. There is a very clear reason why. These show how cosmetic currencies are going to be handled by Blizzard going forward. And that's because each one of these has a generous weekly, but it's only once per account per week at its full reward value. Alts can't get a weekly quest, but it just doesn't have the pile of currency. So, big picture, I think this is kind of fair. Blizzard obviously doesn't want a situation where people just get loads of alts so they can just do a whole bunch of weeklies in parallel and then funnel the currency. It's the sort of thing where if you could do that, then Blizzard probably wouldn't give us the currency transfer system. That said, all hope is not lost. Take those Mysterious Fragments. Yes, there is no weekly quest that you can really exploit through this. However, there are world quests, right? And the world quests for the Big Dig, well, those are about 600 to 700 fragments each. Those will be spawning on any character that's unlocked, and which does mean you can do at least a degree of progress in parallel if you just want to get that admittedly really nice looking transmog set in less calendar days. And another neat thing that we're seeing them dabble with is the idea of a truly account-wide achievement in design. As an example, there's a bunch of new ones for doing every single dungeon with every role. That's kind of neat. I definitely wonder, like, could they have big meta achievements that are designed to be done not just in one character? If so, well, I don't know, they could probably do some pretty cool things. Certainly an excuse for some really cool rewards. Anyway, a quick word on what to do and not do. So, I would recommend that you just chart out some of your in-game goals. Things like maybe time rifts and the Big Dig. They're not accelerated like that much at all by this new feature. However, you should remember, there will be far few players like doing time rifts whenever War Within comes out, so I would be putting my efforts actually into things like that. Same goes for maybe the likes of the Legion Order Hall campaigns. They're not going to be easier in the War Within, so you may as well do them now in your downtime. It's also, though, worth taking a gander through all of your different characters to see how many resources you've got that you can pool together. As an example for me, take the Argent Tournament, right? I've got 84 seals spread across my characters, so I can gather those up and get a bunch of rewards. I have 209 service medals, so yeah, if I want the Moonsaber on Prepatch Day, I am going to have to do a lot of service medal rewarding things. Okay, so that's it. What about you? Is this enough to return to the Shadowlands? I mean, probably not, but what you should do is return to Mists of Pandaria, and if you're going to do that, you can be very overpowered with a lot of bronze and a stupid amount of levels by checking out our new guide and remix.